Biden raises coercion of Taiwan and human rights abuses with Xi Jinping in first phone call.
Here's a summary of the article.
Joe Biden has affirmed the U.S.'s tough line on China's human rights abuses and regional expansionism in his first phone call with President Xi Jinping since taking office. The call came just hours after the announcement of Biden's establishment of a Pentagon task force on China and a senior State Department official meeting in person with Taiwan's representative to the U.S. The U.S.'s support for Taiwan, which is fending off aggression and threats of unification from Beijing, is one of the most sensitive issues in the U.S.-China relationship, and one raised by Biden during the call. A White House account of the conversation said Biden also raised the crackdown in Hong Kong and human rights abuses in Xinjiang, and China's increasingly assertive actions in the region. Xi also warned Biden to cautiously handle matters like Hong Kong, Taiwan and Xinjiang, which he said were internal affairs about China's territorial integrity. Ahead of the Xi call, a senior administration official briefed reporters that the Biden team had found merit in the Trump administration's basic proposition of an intense strategic competition with China, but we found deep problems with the way in which the Trump administration went about that competition, Axios reported. During his term, relations plummeted, with tensions over trade, the pandemic, and China's crackdowns and abuses on human rights and regional neighbors, including Taiwan, and in the South China Sea. It has elevated the decades-old 6 assurances made with the island's government to the same level as the 3 communiques outlining China-U.S. relations, and the Taiwan Relations Act, which requires the U.S. provide material support to Taiwan for its self-defense.
This post received a score of 43,000, with an upvote ratio of 88%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The summary left out Xi's response, affirming that Xinjiang, HK, and Taiwan were internal matters, advising Biden to resort to cooperation and to identify these matters as those within Chinese sovereignty. All things considered, a pretty boilerplate meeting.
For anyone who wants more context here, the cornerstone of international relations is that sovereignty is respected, that is, no country has a legal right to interfere in the internal affairs of other countries. China stating that Taiwan is internal to China is more than just posturing, it is a meaningful bit of positioning that makes it harder to find just cause to intervene in Taiwan-China relations. Then we get to the so-called One China policy, whereby everyone agrees that there is only one China but does not assert which is the rightful ruler of this nation, Taiwan or Beijing. Which is, of course, insane, but is also the result of the sanest action available at each point in the past.
The Taiwan situation basically boils down to that. China, we will attack you if you declare independence. Taiwan, we will declare independence if you attack us. US, we accept one China, but will help Taiwan if you attack Taiwan unprovoked. Meanwhile, Taiwan is doing lots of business in China and making big money there, and the US is trying to get better business terms from China.
Greater than we accept one China, but will help Taiwan if you attack Taiwan unprovoked kind of. The U.S. position is one of strategic ambiguity. They acknowledge that China has its One China policy where Taiwan is a part of China, but don't accept it as the United States' own One China policy. Basically, the U.S. doesn't officially accept that Taiwan is independent or a part of another country.
Schrödinger's Taiwan.
Thanks for summarizing it for me. I was getting confused.
I really hope in addition to talk about Taiwan, he'll talk with Taiwan.
He had a Taiwanese diplomat at the inauguration, whom he invited. First time that's ever happened.
Really? Who?
I had to Google the name. She's Xiao Bai-Kim, Taiwan's envoy to the US.
First time I've come across a Taiwanese person with her name transliterated from Taiwanese instead of from Mandarin.
Taiwanese here. Rare, but it does exist. Intentional on her half, given her heritage and her pro-independence stance.
I mean, your president's name is spelled as Tsai Ing-wen and not Kai Ying-wen, so there's that. So you're saying that some people in Taiwan use Mandarin Chinese's pinyin spelling rather than Taiwanese spelling?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.